Download the AllStar app. Make your picks for UFC fights, challenge your friends, level up and win prizes. Link in description. Get it now.
First thing is, did you see that fight last weekend where it ended with the splinter in the toe? Did you see that, or in the foot? Did you see that?
I didn't see that.
All right, so PFL Europe, right? The
Uh-huh.
main event. Cedric Doumbé, undefeated, kickboxer, a lot of hype around him. First round, he kept on pointing to his toe, and Mark Goddard stopped the fight. And then they found out that he had a splinter, a splinter in his toe. It was wild, man.
So
Have
I
you ever seen
saw
anything like that?
I've seen some crazy things in the cage, but nothing like a splinter in the toe. Like that's pretty nuts. Man, I remember I went to a couple of local fights here in Denver, and uh, guys were warming up in like horse stables, and they were tracking in like rocks and pebbles and like cow manure into the ring. It was pretty nuts. Like that's the craziest thing I've seen. But yeah, never a splinter.
Yeah, that's wild, man. That's very unsanitary, man, especially with all that happens in fighting, you know what I mean, all that contact. But yeah, it's nothing ever surprises you, right, in fighting.
No, no, nothing. Like that's I did see Mark Goddard stop the fight, but I couldn't tell what it was. I thought he like broke his toe, similar to like the John Jones
Yeah,
thing or something.
yeah,
But I guess it ended up being a splinter.
yeah, it's weird. Wild stuff, man. Now to you, 2023, last year, two fights, two different weight classes. How did you feel about the process or the progress you made last year?
I thought I jumped leaps and bounds. I fought two really, really respected guys in the game. One is seasoned veteran and Carl Albertson, and he's really, really solid 205er, probably one of the biggest guys in the weight class. Stature and just he hydrates well. And I felt strong, felt fast, felt good for that. And then to go and compete at a lower weight class and compete in the top 10 right away, and take out one of the dogs, one of the wrestlers in that weight class, arguably the best wrestler in that weight class. And um, I felt really, really good. And I felt even faster at that weight class and stronger. So being able to compete at both weight classes, I think, only increases my opportunity to hold two belts. Like you can see, my shoulders are big enough.
Yeah, you get ready.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, the drop to middleweight, man, in your last fight against Romeo Cotton. You got to drop the weight, making the weight, and then fighting at that weight. What did you learn through that process?
I just learned a lot about myself and as far as like the discipline and the attention to detail and trust in the process. Um, I've always been a guy that is very detail oriented and my preparation and everything I do, because I don't believe in rising to the occasion. I believe you fall to the level of your preparation, and so I always prepare well. And so that drop taught me that I can withstand and I can handle something as serious as dropping 40 something pounds from my walk around weight. So it was really good.
That's a that's a process, man. That's dedication. When you say something like that, that's dedication right there.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, man, people say if you look better, you feel better, right? With the weight that you drop, what I mean, of course, your body's gonna transform into, a better visually. How does it feel? Did you gain confidence from that?
I gained confidence from the time in. So the time and preparation that I do to get to that physique, get to that look, get to where I'm going. That's where I get that confidence. All the other stuff is a little bit vain, and that's always fleeting. So I've known some really sloppy looking guys that have the best cardio ever. Some really sloppy looking guys that will strike better than anybody you've ever seen. So I don't really put too much into the physique, but obviously, I mean, they say you look good, you feel good, and with the preparation, I feel good. So yeah, it's
Okay.
pretty.
Yeah, and with the win over Cotton, it makes you an instant contender in a division. How do you feel about your position at middleweight?
So my position at middleweight, I really feel as though I'm I'm very much next in line for a title shot, title opportunity. I know that things are going to shake themselves out between um, Fabian Edwards on this card and um,
Aaron Jeffries.
Aaron Jeffries. So I know Aaron's been calling for that fight against Eblin. I feel that Aaron Jeffries is going to be a tough outing for Fabian. So if that happens, Aaron's probably going to end up. They'll probably give him the opportunity, but I will be ready for that opportunity, or be ready to fight Aaron as well. So whatever it takes to get to that title opportunity, I think I match up well against Johnny Evelyn. I think I match up well against Aaron Jeffries. Um, Fabian Edwards is also a really good fight, but with a loss to Aaron Jeffries, I feel like that catapults me right into contention for the title right away.
Yeah, are you secretly, selfishly rooting for Fabian Edwards to win that fight?
If Fabian Edwards wins that fight, it'll be an interesting layout because I guess he would probably have to fight Johnny Evelyn again, and that was he hurt Evelyn pretty good, but that was a really tough outing, and Evelyn exposed some holes in Fabian's game, and I think that he can either be better for that, or that can um, expose some more drastic hardships that he'll have to get through in his fight career. But yeah, it's all of it's really interesting. But
Yeah.
in the meantime, I'm fighting at 205, so that's another interesting thing because
Yeah.
before I left the weight class, I was number 4, ranked ahead of Karl Moore, and now Karl Moore has a title shot for the vacant title. So I'm a little upset that that wasn't me, but things shake out different ways, and with the tournament and the acquisition of PFL, like you never know what's going to happen. I just wanted to put myself in the best position for success, and we thought that at that point, 85 was the best opportunity to get a title shot, which I still think is. But a win at 205 as well. Next fight's for a title, so I'll fight
Yeah.
the winner of the um, Corey Anderson and Karl Moore fight. That's what's going to happen.
Exciting times for you, man. It's
Yeah.
exciting times, man. So many options. And another exciting thing is you do have a baby on the way this year.
Yeah.
How do
Yeah.
you feel about becoming a father, man?
Oh, it's one of the greatest gifts that God can bless you with, and I'm just going through the process and taking it day by day and really like soaking it in. Like these are the moments in life that they say sometimes pass you by, and then you look back and you're like, remember when? Hey, remember when we were doing this and we were in Ireland and doing that? And so I'm really just trying to embrace the moment and not get too overwhelmed by it, and be where my feet are. Just be present through the whole process. And man, I am so excited to be a dad. I really think that it's my calling in life, and to be able to pass on my knowledge, hopefully, and some of my wisdom that I can impart on another human being, and bringing that human being into this world is truly a miracle.
It is, man. Great times. And Bellator 302, Belfast, your next fight, Luke Trainer. How do you feel about your opponent and his fighting style?
I mean, Luke is phenomenal. I think that Luke is a very, very, very skilled opponent. Um, you know, I've always wanted to fight the best in the weight class, and I honestly think that Luke Trainer is probably the most dangerous one out of the guys that I've named in the weight class. I know he's a little bit. His record's a little bit green, but if you look at his skill set and some of the ways that he's finished fights and what he does in the cage, I think out of all the people that I've named, I think he's probably one of the most dangerous ones, even though the world may not understand that yet. So I think it's a phenomenal test to catapult me to an opportunity to really showcase everything that I know I can. And I like Luke as a guy too. He's a good dude. Him and I chopped it up after one of his fights, and it's going to be a fun fight, and we always like to get after it, so it'll be cool.
Yeah, two competitors, man. Yeah, especially you're a super nice guy. He's a super nice guy. Two nice guys fighting. Who doesn't like that? You know what I mean? Um, but do you like having someone that maybe there is a little bit of animosity? Because I know this fight there is none. You know what I mean? You guys are competitors. Both you guys are super nice dudes. But like, let's say your opponent was someone that was talking a lot. Do you enjoy that?
It's just it it's a little bit different. Like once you get there, it's like, oh, this is the moment. So I haven't had really that much confrontation when it's fight week because I don't know. I think I maybe give off a different type of aura because like it's it at that point it's not just sport to me. Like it never is. Like when I go in there, when we sign the contract, you got to understand like the only thing that's stopping me is the ref. Like I approach it the same way. It's like it's do or die. Like it's very primal. Like if I don't get my job done in this cage, then you're taking my house, my family, things like that. So like that's the energy that I bring to my fights, and a lot of times people feel that and they just are like, yeah, why add to it? Why add to it? That's not. I don't think that's wise. But you know, I've had a couple people talk, but they all ran away. So or ducked fighting me. So it's funny.
When does that switch flip for you? Is it when you land where the fight week starts, or is it middle fight week? When does it switch?
My as soon as I sign the contract, I'm like I'm going. And um, I dream about the fight. I'm constantly in it. Before I fight, I've fought that fight thousands of times. I've done thousands of reps. I've had multiple outcomes of me getting the job done. And so by the time I step in the cage, I've been there before. I visualized the stadium. I visualized the crowd. I visualized getting my hand raised at the end in any way, shape, or form. I've visualized all the different ways it could play out. So when I get in the cage, it's very comfortable, and it's at that point, it's just a job that I need to get done. So yeah, it starts when I sign that contract, but um, man, it's just a different thing. Like outside of the cage is like I could be cordial with you, and it's a weird juxtaposition, but I can be cordial and we're cool. Doesn't we just have a job to do? But as soon as that cage door locks, there ain't no turning back.
You sign the contract, you get into camp. What does camp look like for you? How are you splitting your time? Are you splitting your time between different gyms? How are you working it out this time
Uh,
around?
so my camp is very precise. Everything is uh, structured out with my coaches. Like I have a text chain that even includes my nutritionist. So my coaches, my nutritionists, I have a brain doctor that's working my reactions and my proprioception and building myelin sheath. And I have a strength and conditioning coaches that are the best in the world when it comes to fight sports. I mean, people come from all over the world just to come and do the strength and conditioning program that they built here. So I'm very blessed to do that. And then every single person on my team is in contact. So say I have a really good day in strength and conditioning, or we pushed it really hard, and then um, we're getting ready to go and hit mitts with my striking coach. Hey, my strength and conditioning coach might say, "Hey, we really pushed it, Grant, hard today, so you may want to go on a yellow day and just like kind of cruise through that a little bit, or hey, we're gonna hit it hard, so green light, so really tear it up." So they're all in contact with each other, and it takes a lot of amount of trust, but I just trust the process, and they know exactly what they're doing. They've had champions and continue to have success, so I'm just one of those people.
Yeah, man. It's the proof is in the pudding, man. Your performances. When you see those, you know you're doing the right thing. How do you see this performance? What do you envision for yourself?
I really envision a full mixed martial arts performance. We've added so much to my game, uh, and it's funny because if you watch each and every one of my fights, I have an attitude that's similar in every fight, but stylistically, I'm adding new things. I'm doing new things. My footwork's a little different. I'm throwing new wrinkles in, and I'm constantly developing. That's the cool thing about this sport. I approach it like I'm a child. Like there's always something new that I can learn. There's something that I can take, and I'm excited about every day, every um, practice. I'm excited to learn what I can do more or what I can see from a different perspective. And oh man, this works for this guy. Let me see if I can implement that in my game. And it's really an awesome place to be. So it's yeah, I love it.
And since your last fight, a lot has changed in the world of MMA. The merger happened, so PFL and Bellator is together. What was there ever a moment where you were thinking, okay, Bellator fighters are likely going to be in the $1 million tournament? Should I go over there and maybe compete in that? Did you ever think about that?
Yeah, I mean, there's always thought and opportunity, um, and my goal has been the same. My goal has been I want to be the best in the world. I don't care what organization it is. I want to be the best in the world, and to what's going to put me on that path, you know. And right now, I'm in a really good position to challenge for a title at two different weight classes. And so we felt as a team that the opportunity lied with fighting for the Bellator championship, the Bellator International Championship. So because it puts me right where I want to be and allows me to stay on the same path towards a championship, towards that belt um, with really high level competition. So I'm really happy with the place that we're in right now and the decisions that we've made. So yeah, it's all coming along. It's all in God's plan.
Nice. And one last thing, man, I just wanted to get your breakdown of the main event, Corey Anderson versus Karl Moore, man. What do you see in that one? Like, who has the advantages and where?
I think Corey Anderson obviously has a huge advantage in uh, uh, his intellectual and gamesmanship, um, and him being a veteran. You know, Karl Moore has had a bunch of opportunities and a bunch of fights, but he always has he's always been plagued, unfortunately, with injury and had to take pretty big layoffs in his career. And those two big layoffs in his career, Corey Anderson was fighting through all of that. You know, whether that was in Bellator or whether that was in the UFC. So I think that Corey Anderson has a big advantage in that realm. Um, the advantage for Karl Moore is, I mean, he's fighting at home. He's fighting in Ireland for a vacant title. He has that Irish crowd behind him, and it it could it can be good or bad, you know. So like sometimes fighting at home can be distracting, but if he does it right, I think it can be a really big advantage for him. Uh, you know, and Corey is a very, 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 very smart guy. So I'm sure that he'll probably be out there the same time I'm going to be out there and um, be ready to go and be ready to be in that environment. So I ultimately see Corey getting it done. But, you know, fight game, especially at this weight class, you know, it's 4 ounce gloves. Anything can happen.
Yeah, definitely. March 22nd, Bellator 302, Belfast, Ireland. Grant, thank you so much, man. I'm so happy to finally get one in first, the initial one, and then now we can move forward.
Yes, I'm so happy. Thank you so much for having me on and being so patient with me. These past couple weeks have been like
Yeah.
absolutely nuts. Just getting flights set up for coaches and my wife and babies on the way. So and it's been great. But you working with me has been even better. So I always got an interview for you, and so I really appreciate you, and thank you so much for asking good questions as well. That's a big thing. So and thanks for doing your research. Like it.